This is going to be a quick and very rough demonstration of how to manually migrate a course from your WebCT CE8 platform into the new Desire to Learn platform. I'm going to start first by going to the File Manager, and then I'm going to select all the content in the File Manager. You may need to scroll down to the bottom and choose the paging preferences to make the number high enough that you'll see all of your files. I have them all selected here, so I'm going to click on the zip, and in my files I'm just going to call that G209 export, and then I'm going to pause it while it zips. Okay, that took about 2 minutes. Now if we go to the My Files area, we'll find that, where did it go? There it is, G209 export. I'm going to download that to my downloads folder, and I'm going to pause it again while it downloads. This can also take a while. The download is now completed. It was about 20 megabytes, as you can see from the file manager here. Where'd it go? 20 megabytes there. Hopefully you had time to catch up with your Facebook friends, and now we're going to switch over to Desire to Learn. I'm going to start by going to the content and go to Manage Files, and then I'm going to upload that zip file. It should be in my Downloads folder under just sort it by date modified. And there it is. Then hit upload, and now we wait again. I'm going to pause it yet again. Actually, that was much quicker. So now you have this zip file. You can go to the context menu and choose unzip, and yet again wait. And boom, there's all your files. You notice that if we go back to the course files area here, they look very similar. And then I'm going to go ahead and delete this big file here, just so I do it while I'm thinking of it. Select it, go up to the delete button. Now this is, in many cases, a lot of the content. Some of it may have been pre-populated from the distance learning template, and some of it may be content you're actually using. So next, what I want to do is actually go to, well, this nifty tool will let you select multiple items at a time. So if you know that you're using all of these resources, you can select them all, then hit the Add Content Topics. And you'll be given the option to name each of these items. So we'll call this Module 1 Introduction, Module 1 Resources, Module 1 Tech Requirements, Module 1 Conclusion, Module 1 Communicating Online. And I'm just going to add that. There's no parent module, so I'm going to go ahead and add a module, and we'll call this Module 1. And actually, since I'm going to be having Module 1 in the module, I'm just going to go ahead and remove that from each of these file titles, and hit the Add button. So if we go back to content now, you'll see Unit 1 as it's identified by the software, and Module 1 now have all those items in them. You can organize the order by clicking the Reorder button. We'll choose Introduction as number 1. Number 2, we will choose Tech Requirements. Number 3 we'll use communicating online. Number 4 we'll do resources, and number 5 will be conclusion. So that's one way to add content. Another way you can add content is to actually add it from this area here. So I'm going to add the unit tool right here. We'll go ahead and call it module 2. I'm going to hide the enumeration units. And that's the thing that says, unit 2. If I go back to manage content now, you'll see there's a placeholder for module 2, and you'll see the option to add single files, or I guess topics, or multiple topics. And since I have my files in a folder inside the file manager, I'm going to hit the add multiple topics. And it will show me the file manager again. I'm going to collapse the images in module 1 files. There's my module 2 files, and I can actually check all of those items. You can also name them quickly here. So I'm going to say intro. Actually, I'll use that one, module 2 intro. We'll do module 2 conclusion. And then the instructor intro and so forth don't really need the module number on them. Citations, syllabus. Syllabus is the same throughout the course, so you don't need to identify it as module 2. Course calendar, that's pretty descriptive, and content and outcome guides is descriptive enough. So there we have my selected items, the new titles, and I'm going to hit the add button at the top here. If you don't want the numerals identifying the order of the items, you can hide them. I'm going to go ahead and leave them for now and hit the add button. And there's your module 2 with the intro, conclusion, etc. And then you can reorder them as to your desire. I'm going to put that as number 7. We'll do the instructor intro as number 2 and just sort of follow the rest of them. So there we go. Now the third way to do this is, I suppose, to manually add the files and write them as you go. I'm not going to demonstrate that for this point because this is for migrating a course. But we're going to use this nifty tool inside Desire to Learn called the Course Builder. Now it's a little, well, I don't know if impressive is the right word. At first it could conceivably be a little complex, but I think it's pretty cool. You can read this and go through the help if you'd like. I'm just going to dive right in and hit the start button. And what it does is it creates a graphical layout of your course. Here is the overall course. There's the first module, the second module. So I'm going to add a third module by dragging it on and placing it right below module 2. We'll call this one module 3. If you have notes or description, you could add that here. And any date restrictions, I would leave those off for the time being though. And we'll create. So that creates a placeholder here for that module, and you'll see that it's empty. What we want to do is actually recreate the Learning Module 3 from your Blackboard course. So if we switch over to there, go to the Learning Modules tool, and go to Module 3, we can see what's in here. So we have the intro, the objectives, the lectures, an assignment, a discussion, and an assessment. I'm hoping these are all in the same folder because that makes life a lot easier, but that's rarely the case. Okay, so here we go. Link to Module 3 files. So far so good. There's just some missing HTML information there, but I'm not going to make any changes to that now. Objectives, also in Module 3 files. And lecture, plate tectonics, also in Module 3. Alright. So that actually makes this very easy because we can go to the Browse for Objects. So if you have existing content, you can use this section here. So I'm going to go to Module 3 files. Let's see, there's the intro, the conclusion, and the plate tectonics and CERTC modules. And you can select them, or you can, once they're selected, just drag them right over and right onto module 3. And go ahead and it populates them for you there. If you had additional files, you could actually go and upload them, etc. And I'm going to go back to the toolbox now and see what else there is in the Blackboard course that I have to recreate. Actually, the one file I wasn't sure about was objectives. Actually, yeah, so that uses the conclusion file, so we're in good shape. So the order is intro, objective, which was the conclusion, and then the 2 lectures. Then an assignment. So if we go to Edit Properties for the assignment, Module 3 assignment, and I'll show you this nifty tool over here for creating assignments. Here's our Dropbox in Desire to Learn. We'll just drag that right below the lecture. We're going to paste the assignment name, switch back to here, go ahead and copy the instructions. Looks like there's some miscellaneous HTML formatting. So if I copy this HTML and I go back into the course and click on the editor here, you'll notice that it brings up the sample editor. Since I have the HTML code, I'm simply going to click on the Edit Source button and paste it into here. It shouldn't have any problem digesting this. You'll notice there are some pretty big spaces in this. But if we look at the editor, there's all the content, and you can modify to make any changes you'd like here. Let me adjust the width of this so we can see more. So there's our instructions. We switch back here and we can see that there's a numeric grade of 1 and there's a due date, which I'm going to leave alone for the time being. And then if you had any files to associate, let's say there was an HTML or a Word document or an Excel sheet that the students download, you would probably have that in the files area, and you could add the file and browse for it in your course offering files, or upload it if it was on your computer. However, this one doesn't, so I'm going to leave the dates empty and click the Create button. Now, one thing that I actually forgot to do was set up the grading items for that, and we'll loop back and get that at a different time, or you can look at how to do that in a separate video. Now the next item is a discussion, so we'll again go to the Edit Properties for the Module 3 discussion. Go ahead and copy that and drag this discussion topic over. And there's no forum in this course, so we'll just create one called Weekly Discussions. And I'm not going to add a description because that's pretty self-explanatory. So this one we're going to call the Week 3 discussion. Switch back here to get the instructions. We'll just look here really quickly. We can see that it's worth 1 point. In the description we'll paste that in out of 1. And then here was the item we forgot in the Dropbox. We're going to add a new graded item and call it Disc 3 for Module 3 discussion. And if you want to associate it with the category for a nice and tidy gradebook later, you can do that. We'll just call this one Discussions. So we'll paste the description for that discussion in. The point value is actually 1. Actually, we don't need a description here. I'm sorry. I'm in the grading area. Click Create. We have the score there. The topic is visible. You can set other restrictions, and then click the Create button. And there's your fully established Module 3 discussion. The last item is the assessment for Module 3. We'll go again to Edit Properties. We'll cheat by copying that, and actually this part we have two options. You can either export the quizzes from Blackboard using the assessment's own export tool, and you can export. The nice thing is you can export all of them at once. Check everything you want to export. I'm going to leave out the hidden item, and then hit the export button. Go to My Files, G209 Exams. And actually I think it'll give me a zip at the end of that. Or you could actually use Respondus. However, for expediency's sake, I'm going to use the batch export within WebCT. The file is now stored in the My Files area. And there it is, g209exams.zip. So I'm going to download that, save the file. This will be much quicker. Switch over to this course. I'm going to exit the course builder and go to the Edit Course menu. And under the Edit Course, go to the Import, Export, Copy Components section. Then go to Import Components, and we'll browse. And let's locate by date modified. There's the G209 exams. Open. Next. And it's going to confirm that the package works. Hit next again. It's going to upload into the course files area. There are 16 exams. Go ahead and select all of them. Hit next. Next again, and it's going to actually run through that big hunk of XML and start importing the quizzes. Didn't take long, so we hit the next button and we were successful. Now if we did a quick detour to the quizzes area, you'd see that we now have all those quizzes. However, something slightly odd happens in that process, and it actually locks up all of the quizzes. So it's kind of a nuisance, but to change that, you go into the Module 3 assessment, go to the Restrictions tab, hit the Remove All Conditions, and save the quiz. And now if we go back to the quiz list, you've removed that lock. You may need to make some additional changes. You can preview the file to actually check and see if anything's changed. You can also check the layout to make sure everything was there. This is a single quiz, so that's fine. And then there may be a few other things you need to check. One important item is the actual setting up of a grade item. This will actually put whatever's done here in the gradebook. So I'm also going to go ahead and add a category called, no I'm not, never mind. I'm going to go ahead and add the grade item. We'll call this just simple and easy Mod 3 quiz. No categories. The max points was actually 1, and hit save. And then that quiz is ready to go. Now if we went back to the course builder, now we can actually add that quiz right into Module 3. I'm going to expand Module 3 and drag this little thing here for the quiz. Actually, let's do this. Let's go down to the Browse Objects, since it already exists in the course, and find that Module 3 Assessment. Just drag that right over there, and we now have our Module 3 completed. Now, there were 10 modules, so just repeat that 7 more times and you're all done. A few things to check. There will be an upcoming checklist for things to check to make sure your course is ready to run. But that would be how you could manually import your course should you choose to do so. There are obvious benefits, and as you could see, there are 3 ways to do that. The obvious benefit, though, is that you're forced to actually get in and tinker with the various ways to interact with content in the learning management system. But have a look-see, see what what works, what doesn't, and we'll investigate various subtopics here, but this is mainly meant to be a way to just force your content into the new LMS. So that's it.